Hey y'all, welcome back to Chef's Pantry. Today we're cooking another recipe from Thomas Keller's Ad Hoc. We're going to make a chicken pot pie. Chef has us making a crust from scratch as well as a few veggie preparations. The final product was super dank, and this was also my very first chicken pot pie. Let's do it, y'all. First, we're going to need 2.5 cups of flour. Go ahead and measure that into a large mixing bowl. You can also add 3 tablespoons of kosher salt to the flour. Next, we're going to need 2.5 sticks of butter. You want to cut that butter into nice cubes. Also, it's really important for the butter to be cold. Go ahead and add your butter nuggets to the flour and use your fingers to break them up. Take your time with this step and make sure you really squeeze those butter nuggets. Once your butter pieces are small enough, you can use your hands like this and keep squeezing the butter and the flour together. You're just trying to evenly incorporate the butter into the flour. Once your mixture looks like this, you can add 4 tablespoons of ice water to the flour mixture. I kind of like to cover the water with flour, but that's just me being weird. You don't have to do that. Anyway, use a fork to incorporate the flour and water together. I suggest using the fork like a knife to cut the ingredients together. Every once in a while, take the clumpy flour off your fork. Okay, so you see how it's starting to hold together like this? That means it's almost ready. You're going to add 1 more tablespoon of ice water to the mixture and start to bring it together with your hands like this. Okay, so now it's like a dough blob. Go ahead and turn it onto the table and knead it a little. All you're trying to do is work the dry, crumbly bits that are left. Cool. So now you want to roll and smack that dough around a bit and let it know who's boss. So now you have a cool dough ball. It should feel like firm Play-Doh. Put it in a Ziploc bag and let it rest for an hour or overnight in the fridge. Okay, so now we gotta make a quick bechamel sauce. Here are the ingredients assembled together: milk, flour, butter, bay leaf, parsley, cayenne pepper, and salt. The exact amounts are in the description below. Here we go. Get a wide, heavy-bottomed saucepan and start melting the butter. Once your butter's melted, add the flour in and whisk it together to make a blonde roux. You want to cook the flour in the butter only a little bit so it doesn't get any color. Once the roux looks like this, add the milk and whisk the milk and the roux together. Then add the bay leaf. You gotta cook it on a low heat until it's real thick. It's super important that you keep an eye on it and stir it frequently to prevent it from scorching. Once the sauce is nice and thick, pour it through a fine mesh strainer. Use your cutest rubber spatula to push all those creamy bits through. Now you can go ahead and season the bechamel. Okay, so now we gotta prep the filling. Don't worry, this isn't very complicated. You're gonna need some radishes, peppercorns, thyme, bay leaf, celery, carrots, and 1 big red potato, and some pulled chicken meat. Peel the carrots and slice them on a bias. Peel the potato and dice it into medium cubes. Slice the celery on a bias. Trim up those radishes and slice them in half. Cool, now the veggies are ready to cook. Put a pot of water on to boil. Season the water with thyme, bay leaf, peppercorns, and salt. First, we'll cook the potatoes. Once they're easy to pierce with a knife, then they're ready. It's going to take about 5 to 7 minutes. Next, you'll do the radishes until they're al dente, about 3 to 5 minutes. Next, you'll cook the carrots about 3 to 5 minutes. Finally, we'll cook the celery. The celery will cook for 3 minutes and then put that into an ice bath. Now you gotta roll out the pie crust. Flour up your board and flatten out the dough a little. Now you want to cut a third of the crust off. Put it on the side. Roll the remaining 2/3 out about 1/4 of an inch thickness. Get your pie pan and butter the surface. Dust the buttered pan with some flour like this. Try to cover the pan evenly. Place your dough sheet over the floured pie tin and form it to the contours of the pan. Trim off some of the excess. Now roll out the remaining 1/3 of the dough. This will be the top of the pie. Beat 1 egg and have a pastry brush ready. Okay, so let's fill the pie. First chicken, then the veggies, and now we can finally pour the sauce on top. Brush the edges with the beaten egg and place the top dough over the filling. Use your fingers to press the edges together and seal the 2 layers of the crust. Take your knife and go around the pie tin, trimming off all the excess dough. Finally, cut some slits into the top so steam can escape while the pie bakes. Preheat the oven to 375 and bake it for 1 hour. Let it rest for 20 minutes before slicing. That's it, y'all. Looks great. Okay, so this was a pretty intense recipe, but it came out really good. There's a lot of technique involved, so if you managed to replicate it, props. Alright, y'all. Smash that like button, subscribe, take it easy, and peace.